udadewethu ebawuqomile lamakwelekwele kodwa futhi Zulu omnyama siyadinga ukuthi sakhe ubuhlobo nezinye izizwe siwuZulu singalwi eSwazini namlando umfazi eSwazini namlobola nonke yini manje.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down King Misuzulu's highly anticipated address at the 147th commemoration of the Battle of Isandlwana in Ngqutu, KZN. This was supposed to be the moment he tackled the escalating crisis of illegal foreigners in our province, their disrespect, crimes like drug trafficking and human smuggling, the overcrowding of our schools and clinics, and the blatant entitlements that's pushing Zulus to the brink. Earlier this week, through Prince Thulani's voice notes, the king acknowledged our anger and promised to dive deep into this issue. But as many of us suspected, it all fell apart. Now before I play the clip of the king's speech, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it.
Lokhu okwenzakala eDington siyalimala lapho kodadewethu ebawuqomile lamakwelekwele uthi wani phela abashana sekhona abashana bethu manje kumele sihlale phansi Zulu omnyama ngesichitha ingcubunga ukuthi sikuthini lokhu ngoba noma ngabe umshana wami uzalwa ekwelekwela alihambe ikwelekele sala umshana kumele kube njalo kodwa futhi Zulu omnyama siyadinga ukuthi sakhe ubuhlobo nezinye izizwe siwuZulu singalwi eniyoqonyo nje buthuluka amageba ke eniqonywa amavenda namalokhu khona la ekhaya bakhona aha naseZimbabwe kwelikamzilikazi bangamaZulu ningakhohlwa lokho singawulimazi umlando ososhangane eSwazini namlando umfazi eSwazini namlobola nonke yini manje asiyibambe kanjalo Zulu omnyama ngibambisene kahle noPrima wesifunda ngibambisene kahle noNdunankulu wami kaZulu ngibambisene kahle futhi nomongameli wezwe.
So for those who don't understand Zulu, here's a cleaned up English translation and summary of what the king said. He started by referencing the chaos at Addington Primary School in Durban, where spots are being overrun by children of illegal foreigners. He then shifted to blaming Zulu women for dating foreigners and having kids with them, saying those children become part of our families, like nephews and nieces, and that they can stay in the country, but the foreign fathers should be sent back home. He emphasized the need to sit down and find solutions. However, he quickly pivoted to urging Zulus to build positive relationships with foreigners, not fight them, and even encouraged getting into romantic relationships with them. As examples, he pointed to the Ndebele people in Zimbabwe who descend from the Zulu leader Mzilikazi and reminded everyone that his own wife is from Swaziland, with the Zulu people having contributed to her bride price. he wrapped up his speech by noting his strong working relationships with provincial leaders and the president. Now, let me be honest, this speech was a disaster. It was a jumbled up mess of contradictions, avoidance, and outright nonsense that completely ignored the core problems we've been screaming about. The king literally laughs throughout the whole speech as if our frustrations are a joke, which only shows how little he cares. He jumps from mentioning Addington to pinning the blame on Zulu women for the overcrowding, claiming their relationships with foreigners are the root cause. That's absolute rubbish. Sure, there are interrelationships that happen with our women and foreigners, but that's not the root cause of this problem. The real culprits are illegal immigration, foreigners sneaking across our porous borders with their families, arriving pregnant, or even forming relationships within their own communities here. This leads to massive strain on our resources. Schools like Addington denying South African kids sports, clinics overwhelmed, streets flooded with entitlements and crime. Like I said earlier, our women do get in relationships with foreigners, and I'm completely against it, by the way. But blaming them in this situation is not only misguided but insulting. It shows that the king has no idea what's going on the ground. There's been many rumors that our king is a drunk or on drugs. And after this rambling performance, I'm convinced that there's some truth to these rumors. No one who is sober-minded can deliver such an incoherent speech. Then comes the full 180-degree flip. After acknowledging the problem, he then goes on to lecture us to embrace these foreigners, build ties, and even get into romantic relationships with them. What the hell? He drags in irrelevant history about the Ndebeles in Zimbabwe descending from Mzilikazi as some weak justification for unity, and boasts about his Swazi wife like that's supposed to make us all lovey-dovey with lawbreakers. This isn't about legal, respectful immigrants. It's about illegals who disrespect our customs, commit heinous crimes, and treat us like weaklings in our own land. Where's the fire from that earlier voice note? Gone, vanished. Instead, we get statements that sound like surrender. And don't get me started about his closing brag about working very well with provincial leaders and the president. That's probably the only honest part in this speech, because this very same government he boasts about working with is the enabler-in-chief of all this nonsense. They're the ones refusing to seal our borders, letting illegals flood in, granting their kids access to our schools and healthcare while South Africans wait in line or go without. The president talks big on unity, but does nothing to protect us from crime waves, drug empires, and overcrowding that's choking KZN and the whole country. If the king is cozy with these failures, he's part of the problem, not the solution. He comes off as a helpless puppet, or worse, a traitor to his people. Remember Jacinta Ngobese from March and March? She shared how the royal household called her, acknowledged the online threats and abuse from foreigners, and that it restored her hope. She said it made her feel protected as a woman under the Zulu nation, and she deferred to the king's guidance while insisting illegals and criminals must go. If you recall in my previous video, I questioned why she put faith in him in the first place, and now I bet all that hope is shattered, just like the government has crushed ours repeatedly. When a fellow patriot asked her on her reactions to the king's speech, this is what she said: "No comment." That tells you everything you need to know about how she's feeling. The king's speech showed no real plan for deportations, no plans for crackdown on crime, no strategy to end the disrespect and overcrowding. And this isn't just about one bad speech. It's a symptom of how deep of a crisis we are in as South Africa. Our leadership, from the monarchy to the governments, is failing us spectacularly. Illegal foreigners are not guests when they break laws, provoke us, and drain our nation. It's unacceptable and it has to stop. We deserve borders that mean something, resources for citizens first, and leaders who fight for us, not gaslight us with empty promises. In closing, Zulus and South Africans, don't let this slide. We're at a breaking point. Demand action, hold them accountable, and remember, if they won't lead us, we the people must rise up forcefully. Share this video, drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you make of this betrayal? Watch the video on your left to see the SAPS using explosives on Dudula and March at the Addington Primary School. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.